So guys, today we're going to be talking about Destiny 2 heading into 2025. Obviously, with 2025 coming, there is a brand new expansion or set of expansions set to be releasing next year. So today we're going to be talking about Destiny 2 and its current state and situation, as well as some things that have been already announced for next year and just my thoughts and feelings and speculation on that stuff in terms of weapon tiers, brand new armor systems, explorable destinations, and a non-linear campaign structure. But let's first just jump into the state of Destiny 2 currently, that being Act 2 of Revenant. Gotta say, this is easily the most buggy the game has ever been, and I am highly expecting or hoping that the game will be in a more solid state, is the best way that I can put it, when we head into the next expansion, because obviously this next expansion is most likely the beginning of a brand new saga, and a great place for probably new players to start off their journey. The beginning's a great place to start, so having that be a bug-free experience is going to be a very important thing that Bungie will need to nail down. Now, obviously, some of the main bugs that have arisen this act is major additions to the game not functioning, exotic armor pieces not working as intended, and even the loot system not working, and with the loot waiting perk issue that happened. Hopefully, they can get all that under wraps and we can head into 2025's expansion with no major issues. Obviously, there's still going to be some little hiccups here and there, but if they can get the majority of the major bugs going on in the game fixed, I feel like we'd be in a pretty decent state, because right now it's in a complete and a mess, to be honest. But with all that out of the way, let's now talk heading into next year, 2025. What can people expect? Well, I've already made a video going over what I would hope to see in this next expansion, and that is a brand new subclass. Now, like I said, already made a video going over my reasons for why I think there should be a new subclass, but overall, you can't go wrong with adding a brand new subclass, let's be honest. They did it for Final Shape and it was a banger. They did it for Beyond Light and it was a banger. They did it for Lightfall and it was also a banger, even though Lightfall's expansion was kind of bad. The main thing that was good about it was the new subclass, that being Strand. So if you can land a good new subclass that people can sink their teeth into and enjoy, alongside a great campaign experience and just overall game stability being great, I feel like you would be in a very good spot. Now, speaking of campaigns, let's go and talk about how that formula is being changed going into next year. So, in past expansions, when a campaign has arrived, it comes in a linear format. That means that you start at the beginning and you progress through the story how the game devs have intended you to do so. But going into the next expansion, they are set to be saying that you can kind of choose and pick what parts of the story you interact with when. So current expansions have a campaign structure where you start at A, go to B, and go to C, etc., and continue on that linear path. But in this new expansion, Bungie have said themselves that you can start off at C, then go to B, or go to D even, and you can choose which parts of the campaign you interact with and when. This will give every player a unique experience, which I think is going to be really, really cool to experience firsthand in Destiny. It's going to be the first time that we've ever had this. I believe that they had something similar to this in the original plan for Destiny 1 before that got scrapped. So it'll be good to see them finally bringing that open campaign experience to the game. Now, one thing that would make this experience kind of bad would be obviously the destination and how that functions. Obviously, this new campaign is going to take place on this new destination, which, as of the recording of this video in the last update that we got from Bungie for 2024, they said is complete, I believe. And I'm really hoping that this destination does not follow the same design as past destinations where it's just a continuous loop or a straight line, because that doesn't really fit well into the idea, at least in my head anyway, of a free-flowing and open campaign space. Because let's be honest, if you all start at the same place and there are set points of a campaign that you can then go and choose, some of those things are going to be closer than others, and you're just going to go in that same loop, or if it's a circle, you'll just go clockwise or counterclockwise and experience the campaign in similar ways. So I feel like the overall campaign and destination need to kind of match in the way that if you go and do an open explorable campaign, you then need to pair it with a open and explorable destination. So I would kind of hope that this new destination would be kind of an open world, similar to what we've seen in other games recently. Obviously, with open world, that comes with a lot of baggage, so that means that you would need to fill the open world with stuff, because one thing that would suck would be to have an open environment that looks pretty but doesn't have a lot going on. Starfield ran into this issue where some of the major planets were just barren wastelands. So having this new destination be something like that, but have an interesting story, wouldn't really be all that great. They need to get the balance of a good story and a good destination all in one if they are to go down the open world route. Now, can I see them mixing in an open story and explorable destination together in the same style of their other destinations, be it a loop or a straight line like we got in the final shape? Yes, I can see them doing that, but I would think it would be much better to have this open and explorable story and campaign taking place in a similar open and explorable world. That's just my opinion on it. Leave yours down in the comments down below if you want to see the next destination be open and explorable, similar to an open world, but maybe not as open compared to other games. I don't really know, but I think it would be a really cool idea. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk major loot and armor changes. So, first off, let's talk weapons. These are set to be receiving a brand new update in the form of legendary weapon tiers. Now, how this is meant to work is that you'll have weapon tiers ranging from tier 1 to tier 5, and we've seen what a tier 5 weapon looks like already, this being a weapon with all of its traits, including its origin trait, alongside its magazine and barrel options all being enhanced, as well as all of its stats, including the impact stat, which normally isn't masterworkable unless it's on the sword, also being enhanced in some way. This tier 5 weapon, I'm assuming, would come from raids, Grandmaster Nightfalls, etc., and then you would get lower tier weapons from doing stuff like patrols or campaigns or crucible matches or something like that. Now, one thing that is very important to note about weapons in this game is that they all feel very different and unique. So some people have a very strong attachment to certain weapons. And one thing I want to know is, will we be able to automatically upgrade our weapons to a different tier if we like them? So for example, if you already have a really good roll on your Fatebringer hand cannon, will you be able to automatically have that become a tier 5 weapon because it's a raid weapon? Or will you have to regrind that Fatebringer to then get it up to a brand new weapon legendary tier? Now, obviously, with Bolt of Glass weapons in particular, I'm expecting those weapons to get a slight update heading into 2025, considering that they are the only raid weapons now, I believe, that don't have an origin trait. So I would very much like to see those weapons get that kind of update, similar to what we got this year with Garden of Salvation. In that case, I can definitely see people grinding out those weapons again. But in terms of older weapons that already have origin traits but aren't enhanceable, I would very much like to hear whether or not those will then be updated to this tier system, similar in the way to how our armor is going to work. So armor is also going to be receiving a huge change in the form of a next-gen armor update. What this means is that newer sets of armor will come with set bonuses, as well as a refresh kind of simplified version of the stats that we already know. So currently in the game, there's about 6 stats, I believe, on each armor piece. They're said to be simplifying that, I believe, from what I read before. This is going to be good, but also a lot of people seem to be worrying that their builds are going to be ruined and stuff like that. How I'm imagining it will work is that you'll have your armor set and it will be converted into this next gen armor version. It won't obviously come with a set bonus, probably, because I don't think that would be possible for them to add, but your stats would probably get converted into whatever the new version of that stat would look like, and then your build would more or less be exactly the same, and then you would slowly over time replace some of that gear with gear that has set bonuses and better stats overall. Now, is this going to be a well-received change? Probably not at the beginning, because as Bungie probably knows by now, Destiny players don't really like change. So this is going to be quite a big change that many players probably aren't going to like. But I can see a lot of people probably enjoying this and then seeing it kind of like a mini refresh, because to be honest, most armor in the game recently, or just for the last year or so, I haven't really been caring about at all, because I have my one set of armor that works for all my builds and I just keep that on me at all times. So having the ability to now care for armor and worrying about what armor sets I need and what set bonuses I want to go after is going to be a nice little addition, I think, to the game. And yeah, that's basically everything that I wanted to talk about today. Those are all the systems and major systems that we know are going to be receiving updates. Those are some of the things that I hope Bungie sorts out and gets fixed heading into 2025. And here's hoping that the next set of expansions, those being Codename Apollo and Behemoth, are good additions to the game and can be a good starting point for newer players to jump in as well. And yeah, that's basically it for today's video. Leave your thoughts on Destiny heading into 2025 in the comment section down below. And if you've enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. But that's it from me here today. So I'll catch you guys in the next one.